Hey y'all, I'm Rashina.
Hello, and I'm Chandra,
And we are the DuoDivas. So our next guest on this episode, oh my goodness. If you're looking to purchase a home, if you're looking to get an actual apartment, whatever it is, just stay tuned. We got somebody for you, okay? Stay tuned to the next episode.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Barnes. I'm a realtor in California and Texas. I do single family as well as commercial. If you want to buy, sell, or lease, I'm your girl. You can find me on Instagram at Sold by Stephanie B, or you can call me on my phone number at 817-523-1661. I would love to help you with any of your real estate needs. Now back to the episode.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Duo Diva podcast. Today we have
The beautiful Stephanie Barnes. Yes. Round of applause. Stephanie Barnes in the house. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, we're excited to have you, my love.
Yes.
So excited to have you. So, you, from my understanding, you're a realtor, correct?
I am.
Yes. So we want you to just kind of give the people a little background of how you got into becoming a realtor.
Oh,
and what you got for us.
All right.
What we need to know about Stephanie.
Well, my name is Stephanie Barnes. I am licensed in Texas and California.
Okay.
I'm actually a real estate broker in California as well, and a agent here in Texas, which I'm way overqualified to be a broker. I haven't done that yet, but that's my next step. Oh gosh, I've been in the real estate industry for about over 20 years.
Yes.
A long time ago, I'll make this story real quick. When I was in sixth grade, we had to pick a career.
Oh.
And I wanted to be a real estate agent. So I went through the Yellow Pages. I'm not sure if y'all know what that is.
Yeah, we know about the Yellow Pages.
Went through the Yellow Pages, and I looked up real estate. And I remember it was Fred Sanders. And I called Fred Sanders and was like, I need to talk to your top producer. And their top producer was 18 years old. Her name was Stephanie Vataco. And I was in sixth grade. And I met with her, and I did an interview with her face-to-face. And she was telling me how she just went ham when she got into the business. So I knew I wanted to be the first Stephanie Vataco. So I wanted to be but I wanted to be Stephanie Barnes, but I wanted to be like Stephanie Vataco.
Right.
So I actually went to college and majored in real estate. It was, it was a majored in finance with an emphasis in real estate.
Okay.
After that, I went and did commercial financing. I put financing on apartment buildings, senior living facilities, and student housing. I then worked in acquisitions where we purchased like shopping centers, like similar to this, malls, storage facilities, and then we had individuals do a 1031 exchange. Let's say you owned your salon.
Okay.
You no longer wanted to be a salon owner. You will sell that salon. You'll take that money, put it into one of our projects, and it'll be like a syndications, a tenants in common. So I wanted to understand the background, the financing, the acquisitions. Why are people purchasing? From there, I finally got my real estate license, and I signed up with Coldwell Banker. Funny story. And when I signed up with Coldwell Banker, I'm leaving their office, and there's a for sale sign outside. And outside, the name said Stephanie Vataco. That was the young lady that I interviewed when I was in sixth grade.
That was it.
So I called her, and we were playing phone tag. Stephanie was a powerhouse. She was like selling like 300 homes a year.
Wow.
I ended up working with her.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
And was doing her open houses and all that type of stuff. So it was full speed around. So that was pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
And so I've been in real estate and selling real estate in California since 2008.
Okay.
And then here in Texas for about 12 years or so.
Okay.
So I do single family and commercial.
Okay.
Nice.
That's awesome, Steph. Yes.
you.
So with you doing that, you are also a mother.
Yeah, I am.
So you've been balancing motherhood along with, the real estate life. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how do you balance the two?
To be honest, when I started off in the business, I'll give you a true testimony.
Okay.
When I moved to Texas, I'm from LA, and I only had my oldest son. He was about 2 years old at the time.
Okay.
And his dad was still in California. And I told his dad, was like, listen, I want you to live out your dream, right? He wanted to be in the movie industry and stuff like that.
Okay.
I said, I'm not going to ask you for anything, but when it's my turn, I ask that you allow me to do that. So I moved to Texas. My commercial underwriting gig moved me here, pretty much.
Okay.
From there, we got laid off. And I had two choices. I can go be an underwriter, or I can pursue my real estate career here in Texas. I decided to pursue my real estate career here in Texas. And my oldest son's dad told me, hey, it's your turn. Bring me Houston. That's my oldest son. And go live out your dream. At the time, I had a newborn. Well, he was about 1 year old. So it was just, I had my oldest son, who was now 4, and then my newborn that was 1. My oldest went to California to live with his dad while I pursued my career. I had a condo in Las Colinas at the time. I got rid of it, put everything in storage, and slept on my sister's floor. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to have anything that's holding me back from this career. I just want to go balls to the wall. And so pretty much I was on that living room floor for a good, it was a while. I didn't make my first paycheck until like 6 months in. And it was probably like a $600 check. And I was so excited.
It was some money.
I needed that.
I love
But you know what? I was like, if I've been wanting to do this for so long. And when I was doing it in California, I remember I had 5 deals under contract, and I was in labor with my oldest son.
Oh, wow.
And all the deals fell out when I was in labor, and that scared me, being a new mom. So I went back into a commercial, and that's what moved me here.
Okay.
So this time around, I was like, no, I'm not going to have anything stand in my way. So I got rid of everything, and I didn't want any overhead, but it was hard. It was times where I only had $20 to my name, where 10 went into my gas tank, because as a realtor, we're driving everywhere.
Yeah.
And the other 10 went into feeding my kid. That was pretty much it. So being in real estate, a full-time mom, and then being a full-time realtor, because I didn't have a regular job. This was my job.
Right.
That was demanding as my kids got younger.
Yeah.
But after my first year, like after 6 months, I remember my broker, rest in peace, Mike Bowman, he's amazing. He told me, he was just like, when you don't want to give yourself options, right? Because if you give yourself options, your dreams are never going to come true, okay? So you got to focus on that. So just keep being diligent in what you're doing. Yeah. God's going to reward you. You may not be rewarded the path that you're going, it's going to come left field, right?
Yes.
But just keep pursuing. And that's exactly what happened. I was pursuing one thing. We used to be the official realtors for the Mavericks, so I really wanted to be like this sports real estate agent, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I kept pursuing that. He was like, Stephanie, don't forget everything else around you. And out of left field, it just hit. It was just like I was being rewarded for my diligence. You know what I mean? I was ended up ranking top 21 agent the following year. And I've just been hitting.
Congratulations. That's awesome,
You can't
Stephanie.
just run over that.
Okay, like trying to have to skip over there. Let's run that back. You were top, what was that?
Awesome.
Top what?
Top 21
There
real
we go.
estate agent.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And so,
awesome.
which was allowed me to be featured in magazines. So I've been top
Yes.
realtor for a few years now.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
good.
We're so proud of you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are.
And I look back and I'm just like, gosh, to be a full-time mom and a full-time agent and succeeding, you know what I mean? People have different ways they measure success.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
and so for me, it's like being able to do this and be able to keep a roof over my kid's head. To me, that's successful as a single mom.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it's hard. It's
It
hard,
is.
but it gets easier as they get older.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's sports and all that
Yes.
stuff picks up.
Life and
So-
stuff with that college come in and all of that. But it is a little bit easier just because they are a little more self-efficient, and so it's not the little, baby, it needs someone to 24/7 watch them, where it can make it harder for you trying to get out and do your thing. With them being able to, stay at home, take care of self.
Absolutely. It makes it so much
I'll
easier
see you in
because
a
it was
minute.
hard. I remember times where I would have like toys, little socks and boy underwear in my purse. I have
Girl.
2 boys and I'm trying to look for a pen. I'm pulling out
Yes.
toys.
Yes, that's
Oh my
us. We didn't have the
gosh.
boys in the car seats.
You've
It's
been
babies.
to the shop
Fine.
when we had kids at the
Yes,
shop.
I would
we
bring
would have,
mine.
Yes.
we would have car seats and toys.
Baby,
and
we
that's
had to
just
do what we
sitting
had to
there.
do.
Yes.
And that's
Okay,
just
y'all?
a part of the journey. That's a part of the walk. And
Yes.
you've made it look so beautiful.
So
and we're so
easy.
proud of you. Like, you literally are a powerhouse for sure.
Yes.
I know there's
Thank you,
times where I'm
ladies.
like, I'm trying to move here. You're like, oh, all you gotta do is go. And I'm like,
Yes.
dang. Okay, wait. Hold on, slow down, Steph. Because you know.
You
And
know
I'm
the
so
information.
proud of you.
Thank
Like,
you,
from
ladies.
financing to brokerage to houses to, over there. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what. All you gotta do is take a left, right. You a GPS. Like,
Right.
Right,
And then
right.
you're in 2 states. So can we talk a little bit about that? Like, how was that with the whole, again, you may have mentioned it, I may have missed it, but can you go back and tell us how you got into 2 states? Like you said, California and Texas.
Correct. Well, I started off, I'm from LA.
Right.
So, and in majoring in finance with an emphasis in real estate, qualified me to take my broker's license. So I got my broker's license back in 2008.
Okay.
Then from there, when I decided that I wanted to move to Texas, I knew I wanted to get my real estate license there, which is here. So I basically, I tag team them both. So I don't go after the California business as much as I should.
I was going to ask that. How is that?
But pretty much, I have a couple people out in California that help me keep the business going.
Okay.
I will fly out there as well to meet my clients and show.
Yes, selling Sunset.
No, you know what? I watched a couple episodes, but I have not.
I could definitely see you on Selling Sunset,
too.
baby, because they
me and Amber. Amber does construction.
Yes, that's
so
right.
we did this whole we wanted to have a TV show.
I remember that.
Homes, Heels, and Ladders. We actually did a whole little wheel, and her and I talked about we want to pursue that because watching those TV shows, a lot of that stuff is scripted and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where it didn't really seem realistic.
Yeah,
but it's always inspiring.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get you off, but you said LA made me think of that.
Right. So I still keep my business in LA, and then either I fly there personally, and sometimes if I can't make it there, I have a team that helps me make that happen for the most part. Yeah. But what I would love to do is just be here in Texas, as well as being maybe doing winter months in LA. I think that would be awesome.
That would be nice.
I can't stand the cold.
Do you feel like that's coming sooner than later, being that your youngest is getting older?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I actually want to get licensed in other states as
I was
well.
going to ask you that. Would you want to just stick with those 2 states, or you want to expand into other states? And with that, what state?
Florida.
Oh, because we know you a summer baby.
I know.
We know you love the water.
But honestly, I want to dive more into the commercial aspect as well.
Okay.
I enjoy residential, but residential, it's pretty much I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a when I open my eyes and when I close my eyes type hours. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because your clients' demands are all different.
Yes.
There's some people, I try to cut it off. When I first got into the business, I would drop my son off at daycare at 7 a.m. And sometimes I'm working or showing houses 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, which I don't recommend. But I was doing it because I was so hungry.
Yeah.
Then as my kids started to get a little older and they're realizing, Mom, you're always working. It's nighttime now. You're still working. When I picked them up from school, I'm okay, I'm going to cut it off at 6 p.m. and then I'll get back if I have to do anything by 9 p.m. or whatnot.
Right.
So residential is more demanding of your time.
I wouldn't have never thought that. I thought it would be the other way around.
No, because residential too, with residential, there's a lot of emotions involved. You know what I mean?
Tell us about it.
It can be the sellers are trying to sell their home and they're I hand planted this flower bed.
Oh.
This house is worth $10,000 more.
I didn't think about that.
You know what I mean? Or they may feel like somebody, it could be the decor, the way they decorated it. And some people are I don't really like it. And now they're getting their feelings hurt involved in it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And there's just so many emotions tied with it. Where commercial, that's where my background was because I did commercial finance.
Okay.
It's about business. Does the numbers make sense at the end of the
Right.
day? So commercial, it's business hours. You know what I mean? 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit more flexibility. But when you get into commercial, you got to make sure that you have a cushion for yourself, reserves. You know what I mean? Because although the payout is nice, it takes longer to get paid.
Okay.
Where residential can kind of be your bread and butter and things of that
Gotcha.
nature. But it takes about a good 5 years.
Yeah. It's you get it quicker than.
Well, yeah, not as quick, but at least within 30 days or so.
Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? But with commercial, it could take a few months,
Yeah.
So I have some really good commercial projects that I've been working on, but they're just more time consuming. I kind of want to shift some things in my career, I think, in the next couple of years.
Okay. That's awesome. So with you saying the shift, what is your future? What would you like to be doing here in the future with your career?
Outside of getting licensed through other states.
Yeah,
Right.
other states.
I have this vision,
You got it, girl.
Yeah.
with me having my broker's license in California and soon to have it in Texas as well. Do I want my own boutique? Do I want my own little small brokerage?
Girl.
Do I want to expand
You're
that to other states?
definitely the realtor that
It's fly.
is always dressing
Always
that
so fly.
comes with the job.
Right.
I love
Hair
it.
done,
Right.
makeup,
Right.
clothes,
Right. Right.
personality,
Right.
Yes.
all the things.
That would
you
make me
definitely
want
have
to be
that.
your client.
Aw.
She's so fly. Like, okay, so she gonna find me a good house, or she gonna give me a good building in a good area.
I agree with that, but it's the information for me.
And that
like
too.
the confidence that you have,
Yes.
you already walk in like, okay, like she looks like she knows what she's talking about.
Right.
But when you actually speak, Stephanie, you
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I want her every time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
You do both sides, right? You sell and you help purchase homes too.
Correct. I work
Yes.
with buyers and sellers
Yeah, that's
and
the
people
proper
that want to lease as well.
Okay, yes, that's awesome.
I do it all. Which, some people want you to focus. Some brokers are like, you should focus on either the sellers or the buyers. But honestly, I like doing both, and I love my buyers too because although you end up bonding with them because you're spending so much time with them, and so when we close, sometimes it's sad. I'm just like, I miss them.
Yeah, like they got their house and now everybody's
it's
good.
all probably like, hey, you guys just want to go just look at a house for kicks and giggles.
Okay.
I know we closed, but I miss you.
I love that. And then you said, so go back to the whole boutique. I heard the word boutique.
Right.
So wait, what was that?
Well, I wouldn't want a big real estate firm. If I was to do something, I would want like a small boutique with just a few agents. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Honestly, something else I would love to do is go out and speak.
Yeah, you can do that.
I love that. I love motivating people.
Yes.
So if I was to do, I have just so many goals and some like, what do I want? If I had a boutique, would I actually want to be in the office, running it day in and day out? I would love to go out there and just meet people and make deals. And some of the commercial stuff, I want to be able to take it internationally.
Come on,
as
now.
well. So
That's
it's kind of like, do I do that on top of running a boutique? Which one do I go after first?
Yes.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to decide. I think I really am going to grow my commercial division and go internationally with it first, and then maybe decide if I want to go the brokerage route.
So
That's
I
awesome.
heard motivation. That's
yes.
what I like to hear. Motivation and encouraging people.
Yes.
So go on that topic. Like, what are some of the things that you would tell somebody being a real estate agent, brokerage? Like, what are the things that you went through, and what are some of the things that you would say to motivate somebody that wants to keep going, but they may not have a Stephanie, what was her name?
Stephanie Patako.
Yeah, they may not have a Stephanie Patako. They have their own, like, motivation and then trying to pursue.
I will say this. One thing I regret that I wish I would have did, when I was working with Stephanie Patako, she offered me a position to be one of her assistants. She had like 11 assistants, okay?
Oh, wow.
She was a powerhouse.
Wow.
And I told you she was selling like 300 homes a year.
Yeah, a year.
So I didn't want to do it because I would have had to hang up my real estate license, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be the next Stephanie Barnes.
Yeah.
If I was to start over, I wouldn't want to go work with her. I would have put my license on hold and worked with her and learned her and just been her shadow. You know what I mean? Get a mentor. Get somebody who you want to be. Don't afraid to just be a student.
Yeah.
Always stay a sponge, especially in this market. You know what I mean? The market in real estate, it cycles. It's cyclical. So everything is changing. So you always got to be on top of it. But I messed up. So get yourself a mentor. But at the same time, like my broker said, you can't give yourself options. Your dream is never going to come true if you keep giving yourself options. To really make it in this business, a lot of people try to do a part-time job a part-time job and try to do this part-time or full-time. You're really never going to make it if you are giving yourself other options to really just dive into it.
Yeah.
Like I said, my clients are all over the place. It's kind of hard to say, well, I can do it when I get off work. You know what I mean? You got to always be hungry.
Yeah,
and for me, I was never one that did the cold calling and the, that how people be on the phone, which I'm not opposed to. This time around, I'm like, I got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable.
Yes.
So what's making me uncomfortable is being on the phone. I'm more of a people's person. I like to meet people. I like to network. In California, we would door knock. So like when I had my oldest son, I would just put him in the stroller and door knock it. Or like when I was pregnant, I'm doing my open houses. I did not realize so many people love pregnant people. And I didn't think that people were going to want to work with me. To this day, I want a fake belly.
Okay. Girl, they like, come on, you need to sit down. You need some water. Honey.
Right. I'm serious.
get you a
Like,
little
let me
snack.
go ahead and give her this girl this money. She got kids to take care
Exactly.
of.
Right,
Even
right,
at
right.
my open
She
house,
got a baby on
I
the
would
way.
have my baby, and then I would have him on my hip, and when I opened the door, and other people had their babies, you know what I
just the
mean? It was like a
connection.
little village.
Yeah.
So I would
love
say
that.
definitely give yourself, get a mentor, and you got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And it's not going to happen
overnight.
Right away.
Yeah.
I was told it's going to take a good 5 years to really make a name for yourself, to start to get the repeat business, the referrals, and things of that nature. Now, I will say this. Some people get into the business and kill it the first year. But don't be discouraged. If this is something you really want to do, you just can't look back. Just stay focused. And every once in a while, look back and say, wow, look how far I've come.
Right.
Take a look around, see how beautiful it is, you know?
Stop and smell the flowers.
Absolutely.
No,
I
for
have
real.
this sign in my living room that says, take a look around. Isn't life beautiful? And so many times, even with you girls, you know, when I'm watching, you know, just seeing you girls' journey, you moving out here and y'all creating DuoDivas, you know, you take a look back, you're like, oh my God, I'm exactly where I prayed for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wanted this.
Ain't no sense to
That's right.
complain.
Right.
Because you
That's
prayed
right.
for this.
Right.
So
Right.
true.
Right.
And then you
Right.
look up and time also flies by. So with that, like you said, don't hold yourself back.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because time is rolling. It ain't stopping for
Right.
nobody.
Right.
And you know, and like you said, if you could go back, you would do the mentorship. I would say that, you know, that's a good piece of advice because
Yeah.
somebody probably would have been like you said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to, you know, keep going. So I love
Learn,
that.
be a sponge, and
Yeah.
invest in yourself. You know, even with classes, just all the things. You know, just constantly networking because you just never know who you're going to meet.
That's right.
You
That
know?
was Chandra
So,
and I.
Yeah,
We was doing all those hair classes. We was doing all of that, not even realizing that there was an award ceremony coming up for, you know, the local love awards when we won the award. We didn't know. We had only been in it, since she got here.
Yeah.
It was, 3.5, going on 4 years in 2018. And they were like, we were a nominee. We like, what?
Right, you're
Y'all been
like,
watching
right out
us?
of nowhere. You're
Like,
like,
where did that come
nowhere.
from?
Like,
And it was
they
like,
come
yeah, we've
left
been watching
field,
y'all.
like,
I'm like, oh,
literally.
wow.
That's so, yeah, you don't ever know. You just never know who you're going to meet.
That.
So like when I go to different networking events, I'm not necessarily going to different networking events with other realtors. I need to be places where I'm going to meet people.
That's
So
right.
if that's tech events, if that's medical events, if that's, you know, a lawyer, whatever the industry, it could be trucking business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those you're looking for clients. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I'm constantly always just throwing myself out there and just meeting new people.
I would have to disagree with you talking about throwing yourself out there. I think you're a light. Like people just be navigating, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm a realtor."
Yeah.
Like you have like a different like aura to you, to where it's like
Yeah.
people just navigate to you, then you say it. Like,
Yeah.
how
That's
did you get that
true.
personality to be like?
You know
feel
what?
like-
Okay, this is a good one. When I got into the real estate business here in Texas,
Okay.
I didn't know Texas. LA, I'm from LA. I know LA like the back of my hands. You could say you want this, you want that. I knew exactly where to go. So in Dallas, I'm new to it. You know, I remember I did my first open house in Keller, and it was in Marshall Ridge or something like that, a really nice community, right? And people would come to the open house and they were like, well, we don't want to live on the other side of the tracks.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, what's on the other side of the tracks? So I went after my open house, I drove to the other side of the tracks. I'm like, oh my God, this ain't bad. This ain't, you know, it's more
Yeah.
just regular like single family. It's not like back then, that was what, in 2014. So the houses were cheaper. Housing market was a little
Yes.
cheaper then. So the houses that were in Marshall Ridge were about 500,000. They're probably like 8 something now,
Now,
close to
okay.
$1 million. So the other houses over the track was about, back then, under 200. So now they're about 4.
Okay.
3 or 4. It wasn't that bad. So I went out and got myself a map, right? So during that time, I got licensed in February. That was when Lent was taking place. I'm not Catholic, but I decided I was going to practice Lent, right? And I wanted to give up something. So what I gave up was fear. Okay.
That's good.
And so I remember I was in South Lake and I'm at this like salad place. And I told myself, all right, fear does not exist. You got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, right? So I'm sitting at this salad restaurant. There was probably like 5 people that were eating around. And I said, Stephanie, get up and give your business card to everybody in this restaurant. And I was like, And I said, nope, you gave up fear. You got to get up and you got to do it. So I went up and I'm stuttering. And, you know, it was a lady there like, yeah, my dad needs to sell his house. I knew nothing about South Lake. Nothing. So I know I was stumbling across my words. But me giving up fear for that duration of Lent allowed me to be comfortable just speaking to people.
Yes.
Being able to just come up to people. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, we're all the same. They may have a few more zeros in their bank account.
Okay.
But ultimately, you know what I mean?
That'll make you no different than me.
Right. That's absolutely, absolutely. So I think that really helped. And so when I do train a lot of agents, I try to put them in that exercise. And it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it allows you to be able to work any room.
Absolutely.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
can
That's
definitely
good.
agree with that. Like you can walk in and be like, you just laugh and smile, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
"What's your name?"
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I'm Stephanie. What you do?" "Oh, I'm
Right.
a realtor." Then it's like, boom,
Absolutely.
bing, bing, bing. Like,
Right.
here it goes.
Like-
I got one.
I was in
But not saying like you're going in, but you were saying that you go in and looking for clients, but I feel like the clients come to you is what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, you just converse with people, and then it's going to come up. I was in my bestie got married in LA, and we went to Vegas for her bachelorette party. I'm in a hotel elevator. And I turn around, I look at everybody, I'm like, all right, who needs a house? Who's moving to Dallas? And the guy was like, actually, I am. I said, oh,
Were
really?
you a part of that people that all them Californians came over here and bought up all the houses from Texas?
No, the
folks?
market.
That was you.
You know, it was crazy though, because when I first got licensed, they were saying that Dallas was going to be the next LA, and I said, how?
She's like, ain't no
you
way.
don't bring all the LA folks over here to Texas.
Baby, they is coming in to where they building apartments left and right. The highways is getting expanded.
Oh my
God. They coming down here buying stuff cash.
I know
stuff.
they are.
Yeah, just pushing us to the left.
I'm sorry. we can all go to like South Dakota or something.
Girl.
South Dakota.
We'll start up something there.
We'll start up something in South Dakota. I got some family in South Dakota. Shout out to my people.
Oh, do you?
Hearns, how y'all doing? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
South
okay.
Dakota.
I don't know anybody from South Dakota.
Well, me neither until my mom told me.
So basically,
Dakota
it's
is
just,
small.
I think I just got that, like I said, with that exercise and just really just making myself approach people, and you just talk and it just comes across, you ask them what they're doing, or like I could be sitting at a restaurant by myself. I hear someone talking about real estate. I'm like, hey,
Right.
you need a house?
You need a house.
That is
So I always just have
it.
my antenna on, and I try to make a purpose, like even if I'm just taking myself out to eat,
Yes.
if I'm sitting at a bar, if I'm going anywhere, I'm like, let me just meet one person.
Right.
That's it. So if I'm going to
least
do
one.
anything, just meet one person
That's
and
good.
make it count.
That's
And
good.
end up being about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Absolutely. And then that person, you want to do a good job with them because the referral business is
Right.
easy. Those are just the warm leads.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So
And
they
repeat
may not be
business.
looking for a house, but they probably can forward you to someone. Who
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely. I was at a bar when me and you hung out
Yes.
that day, and the bartender, she was like, "Oh, I just bought my house," but she ended up referring someone to me.
Oh,
So you just
wow. That's
never
what's
know.
up. That's good.
You
That's
talk
good.
to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
we heard you
awesome.
say like you're wanting to possibly, encourage and be, a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Like, do you want to how are you going to plan on navigating into that space? Do you want to teach first and then eventually go into that space of being a motivational speaker, or is that too far? Is it just like a teach first, do a little small community work first, and then, or what you think? You haven't thought that far.
I'm glad that you're allowing me to put my vision board together, because these were just thoughts that I had. I haven't really executed anything, but I do mentor already. I mentor some agents in my office. Don't do it as much anymore. I remember I used to use this analogy with the agents that I would mentor. I'm like, do you want to be a goldfish, do you want to be a shark? I felt like a lot of agents come into the business and they want to be fed leads, right? Okay, but to me, that's a goldfish, because you're in this bowl and you don't eat until you're fed, right? So then when the market changes, you don't know what to do if you're not getting fed.
So smart.
Whereas a shark, they're going to eat when they want to eat. They're in the ocean, they just go.
Yeah.
So to me, it's easier if you don't have anything coming your way and you go after it, because now you're always hungry and you know how to survive.
That's a
As
good
the markets
analogy.
change, you know what I mean? Like the markets now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a goldfish, a lot of people leave the business. So I definitely started there mentoring agents. I definitely want to teach more in classes. I actually plan on doing some seminars that I want to do. Some of my ideas is, like, for instance, I want to do self-defense, and at the same time, it's self-defense in real estate. So people come in, learn some self-defense, and then we're going to talk about some real estate topics. This is kind of expanding my network. But eventually, I would love to go out and speak to actual young agents and kids, you know what I mean, about getting started. And I think it's very critical that we reach these young kids at a younger age and start early.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I want to be like, when you're out there on the podium, you can do it. Yeah. We can all do it.
We can see you doing that.
I can definitely see you doing that.
No, we can see you doing that for sure.
But that's something I definitely want to think about. Which is things that you guys are definitely making me say, all right, Stephanie, what is your next goal? Because I would like to go out there and motivate people. I think I love showing people the beauty that they have within them. You know what I mean? And giving I love being people's cheerleaders. I think it makes me excited. And then it gets me pumped up. And so then when I see the agents that I've mentored and they're doing amazing, I feel like that's my success too.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because I help them get there as well.
Anytime we've ever had that, anytime we sing like, you should do it, you always say, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Would you agree?
I
Yeah.
definitely agree, hands down.
Yes.
With that being said, what would you give advice to the up-and-coming realtors, or what would you say to close out to let the folks know, like, I'm wanting to do real estate, but I'm this, or I'm feeling that? Like, what would be your advice for the next up-and-coming person trying to get in your seat?
Well, find your reason why. Why do you want to do it? Some people want to do it because they feel like, oh, it's easy. No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
She said it's not. It's not.
You carry so much of your clients' emotions on you, their stress, and, the anger. They take it out on you. You're the blame. You know what I mean? Find your reason why.
Okay.
Why do you want to do this, and where do you want to go with it? Is it because you're trying to be the next Stephanie Fataco, the next real estate guru? Really understand that, because some people just think that they want to do it for the money, and people will be like, "Oh, you're making that easy money. Oh, this money ain't easy." Because guess what? Yeah, you can easily make $30,000 in a month, but if you're not making anything in the next few months, I could have been $30,000 for the year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You got like money management.
Absolutely.
And so like. I forget that side of things because sometimes people have to sell their house because, they've lost a spouse or they have to sell their house because they're getting a divorce.
Correct.
Or they have to, sell their house because, someone lost a job.
Correct.
Like, how do you carry that weight when people are, because you were just saying that it could sometimes
it's a lot. Like, it was a situation where I had a client that was getting a divorce. You know what I mean? And so you're trying to, although they could be your seller, and they're getting a divorce, and one person wants to stay in the house, the other person doesn't want to stay in the house. So you got to be very careful on how you speak to either party. You know what I mean? It's like you have a fiduciary duty to both. And so sometimes that could be really difficult because one person could be still holding on to that relationship, and they can try to what is the word I'm looking for?
Manipulate,
or mess up the transaction because
Gotcha.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that could be really difficult, or people just blaming you because, either their financing isn't going through.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that recommended this lender. It's the lender's fault. It could be all kinds of stuff. And it's been times where I'll cry. I definitely have moments where I'm just, it's emotional for me because I care so much about my clients that my clients become like family.
Yeah.
But when I get like a bad review or something like that, which I've only gotten one, and I remember that they moved here from California, and I helped them every step of the way, right? I even let them move into the house before we close on it. Never do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care how bad the situation is. Do not allow a buyer to move into the house before you close. If you don't learn anything, don't do it. Okay? As much as you try to help people out, they had nowhere to go. And what happened was my lender wasn't really communicating with them, and it was a weekend, and now they're moving. But of course, because the lender isn't communicating, I'm the one that referred them to this lender. I'm the blame.
Dang.
So now when I got my review, although I let them move into the house and all this stuff, I was the bad guy. You know what I mean? And all the beautiful things that I was able to work out for them didn't even matter. They brushed under the rug because of what their experience with the lender was.
Yeah.
So that can really be hard. And I cried because I cannot, I put so much love and care into my clients to when someone feels like I did bad, that hurt my soul.
Yeah.
You start rethinking your whole career. Like, am I supposed to do this?
Right.
No,
And then you'll randomly get a message from a client, a text message, that was like, Stephanie, or a review. And they're telling you how you're an angel and you're heaven sent. And you're like,
oh, it be make
thank
it
you.
worth it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It does. But those moments where you have those clients that are hard and are just like, because not everybody's easy.
No.
Yeah.
Some people it's a lot. But then when I could turn those hard clients into raving fans,
It's a whole nother ballgame.
yeah, because you want to make everybody, even if it's a rental, if they're looking to rent a house for like $1,500. Right? You got to treat them as if that's $1 million transaction. You know what I mean? Versus somebody that wants to buy a commercial space for $1 million. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you want to go after the commission for the commercial space, but this $1,500 rent tenant, you don't know what they have going on. I had one that he's renting. He wanted to rent a $1,500 house for his sister, but yet he's a millionaire. He wants to sell his house. He wants to buy some other properties. And he was like, I want to use you. So you don't really know who you're working with. You never know who you're working with. And you want to make everyone feel like they're gold and your number one client. You know what I mean?
Well, we want to say thank you.
Thank you.
For joining us today on today's episode of the DuoDivas podcast. We appreciate all your knowledge and information.
We do.
We support you. We love you.
I love you girls too.
Thank you for taking out the time to come join us today.
Yes, thank you for having me, ladies. This is amazing.
You are so
I love seeing
welcome.
you girls grow and glow.
We thank you.
We trying to be like you.
We trying to be like you, girl. Trying to get to the next level.
Yeah, we all gonna get there and we're gonna push each other, okay?
Okay, period.
And cheer each other on along the way.
Every time. And that's what we need. Well, ladies and gentlemen, That is another episode there that we have wrapped up for the day, for the night, for the evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank y'all for tuning in to Duo Diva Podcast. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next episode.